JCTV, people meeting people, making memories. Welcome to the Lunch Table, Season 3, Episode 2. I call it the Lunch Table because back in school, that was the time I could be myself, the most free, the most myself without eyes, without glaring eyes, you know? And you can break bread and discuss anything. So I called it the Lunch Table. I've been like on and off in it since 2018, more off, more on as of late. But I'm finally in a position where I can go live. I can go live every Monday, and I got something to push. I got something to sell. I got something to say. The website is legit. The merch is on deck, and I have great support. Shout out to Hollis L. Edwards III. Boom, fantastic actor. And just I've known him the longest. Look up Hollis L. Edwards III. He has this film coming out called The Relic. The Relic. We believe that's going to be the film that's going to take him to the next level. So shout out Hollis. Shout out Domalicious Soul Food. She's been extremely supportive. Her food is amazing. Domalicious Soul Food. Support her. And who else we got? Rick the Ruler. I met Rick the Ruler do Poppy Cannon. Rick the Ruler, solid individual. I've been knowing him for about like 8-9 months, I believe, and he's a man of his word. He's a man of his word, and he always has great content. Always has great feedback whenever we're having our discussions. Charlie motherfucking Mack. Charlie Mack. Shout out Chi-Town, the Don of Comedy. Charlie Mack, he's amazing. Fantastic comedian, fantastic person, hard worker. I want to say he dropped, I think he lost maybe like 100 and some pounds, maybe 2 of them things. And I told him, well, just in general, if you can change your body, you can change your world. And that's what he's doing with his body and also his career. So shout out Charlie Mack. And Maya Lee, shout out Maya Lee for supporting as well, always showing up and giving fantastic feedback. And I cannot forget Bells. Shout out Bells as well, South Africa Bells. She's been supportive as well, like for the past year and some change. Season 1 and Season 2, she's been showing up. So shout out Bells. But let's get to it, man. L.E.A.D.S.T.A.R. L.E.A.D.S.T.A.R. L-E.A.D.S.T.A.R. Become a L.E.A.D.S.T.A.R. That's the foundation and the backbone to all that I do. It is these are the 8 guidelines for effective communication. Become a L.E.A.D.S.T.A.R. It is on sale right now, jctv.com. It's good for individuals looking to improve their relationships, the communication within their relationships. You will actually be listening to the entire message, making eye contact, saying the right thing, doing all the things. You know, if you're not thinking about it, doing your communication after reading the book, after applying those skills, those skills will be in the forefront of your mind each and every time you meet somebody. Am I listening? Am I making eye contact? Am I asking questions? Am I avoiding distractions? All the things. About me though, a little bit about me. I'm an old soul, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an old soul. My father, he was born in 1941. My mother was born in 1953. My father actually, I was just looking up, he was the same age as Emmett Till when he got murdered. 14. My father was 14 in 1955. 14 years old in 1955. That had to be a trip. I was 14 in 1997. Just to give you kind of a picture of the type of father I had. He was a no-nonsense type of dude. One thing I do love about him, though, he grew up in the heart of that hate, but he never taught that. Not one time in the home has he ever said anything hateful towards white people. Never. which kind of really blew my mind because it just kind of showed how much love he has in his heart. God-fearing man. It's a good man. But mother, born in 1953, she grew up in the heart of it as well, and she never preached and pushed hate of the white man either. So I heard it elsewhere, but I never heard it in the home from them. They never made that an excuse for me to use or for all of my siblings to use. So shout out my mother and my father for that, and which leads me to express they're no nonsense, I'm no nonsense. I'm extremely factually opinionated, and I don't hold my tongue. I'm open to listening. I'm open to listening to all sides. I'm a firm believer in L.E.A.D.S.T.A.R, and I love actually interacting with individuals that I don't have anything in common with because I can learn from them. We are looking at things through two different lenses, and that's cool with me. I love that. I love to learn. But some people I've noticed in my years, once you begin probing and asking questions, which I love to do, because for me it's all about if you say something, you gotta back it up. Like make it make sense. So have some substance, have a reason for why you are exclaiming what you're exclaiming. So if the individuals who love to have a back and forth, who don't mind articulating their thoughts and expressing themselves, we have no beef. But for those who cannot articulate their thoughts, for those who are wishy-washy, for those who do not like answering questions about what they said, you ain't gonna like me. You're not gonna like me. But this season, I am working on communication and empathy, and I'm trying my hardest not to curse. I may say ass, I may say shit, but I'm gonna try my best not to say, the F-bombs and the B's and all that. I'm trying to improve my communication and my empathy. But let's jump into it. I love video responses. I'm a video response type of individual. We doom scroll, but I just don't doom scroll. I stop at videos that are interesting, that I feel that are conversation starters, and I save them. So we're gonna jump into it, man. We're gonna jump into it. Share. Let's go. Entire screen. We got to go. Male linen leotards. I said it. Male linen leotards. What is this? Am I on my screen? All right. I'm not sure if it's on your screen, but it's a Caucasian dude with a linen leotard because he's tired of the messy t-shirt tuck. Man, I hope you guys see this on the screen. Hold on. Yeah, there it is. Window. Boom. You got to see this. What are we doing? No. Empathy. Watch it. Yeah, let's talk. What are we doing? Not in the condescending way, but what are we doing here? If I were to have that on and a woman walked into the room and I had on this linen leotard, a onesie that children wear when you change their diapers, she will not look at me the same way. She will not look at me the same way. I don't believe that is for masculine heterosexual men. Masculine heterosexual men, I don't believe we give, I don't think we're too tired of the tuck to wear a leotard. It's just, there's got to be a line, right? I mean, I don't think that's geared towards us, but I still feel even outside the masculinity and the femininity, babies wear that, man. Babies wear onesies. You're wearing a onesie, my friend. You're wearing a onesie. We can't have that. We can't have that. Moving on, man. Moving on, moving on. Let's keep it moving. Window, boom. Video response. I'm sorry, but the human horse jumping, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. There it is. Yeah, we got to talk about this. Oh, damn. Hold on. Share my screen, window. Boom. Yeah, the human horse jumping. That's what it is. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about the human horse jumping. Yeah, play. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Just like this show. If you put it out there, you got to be open to the ridicule. They said that those young ladies are athletes. They called that a sport. How? How? What is it based off of? Again, it's stuff you would do as a child, right? I don't mean to poke fun and take away from the fun. I'm truly trying to understand. Like, because if you enjoy high jumping, why not just go into the track? If you enjoy jumping with horses, why not just become an equestrian? Why this? I don't mean to sound like this, but this sounds like a modified version of an equestrian, like something that you would provide for an individual that's not all the way there. You don't trust them with the full horse, you know? You got to give them a stick and a sock. But these seem like high functioning young ladies, and the crowd is eating it up. Again, not trying to poke fun or take away. I am merely here for understanding. How do you, white girls high jumping over horses on a stick? I don't know, man. Have your fun, but I got pushback. It's, you're not athletes. You're not athletes. Let's say we get a black girl who's a little bit more athletic. Then it's no fun, because all it is jumping higher. And the black girl's gonna be able to jump higher. Now it's no fun anymore. I mean, who are you competing against? I just want understanding. I would love to speak to the person who came up with it. I would love to speak to people involved in it. Like, how far do you go? Like, is there an age limit? Do you stop at 30? Is it 25? Or is there a senior citizen league? I don't know. but it seems quite obscure. Again, working on my communication and my empathy. I'm not gonna talk crazy bad about it, but it's the horse jumping is something else. Moving on. Wearing masks. You guys heard about this? It's official. Mask ban in Nassau County. New York passes along party lines. 12-0. It makes wearing a mask a misdemeanor with unclear health and religious exceptions and gives police the power to fine people wearing a mask $1,000 and sentence them to jail time. So a few years ago, in that same state, for not wearing the mask, you were thrown over the coals. And now it says if you wear a mask with unclear health or religious expectations, you could be fined $1,000 and a sentence to jail. It's hard for me to really, as an American citizen, it's hard for me to take the policies serious. It's hard for me to take a lot of Americans serious because of things like this, because of the wishy-washy. How a few years ago, not wearing not wearing a mask, you lose money, you lose your house, you lose. And now if you wear a mask in Nassau County, New York, without unclear health or religious exceptions, you get fined $1,000 and sentenced to some jail time. It's wild. It's wild. Makes me want to get my own land, build up some walls, and just fucking stay the fuck away, man. Moving on. Oh, so Charlize Theron, and not just her, but it's a trend. For some reason, it's a trend to adopt Black boys and dress them up as women. I mean, as little girls. It's a thing. I'm gonna play it again because I'm highly offended. I got something to say about this. Yeah, so if you just tuned in, you got Charlize Theron, and not just her, but others. Yeah, it's like a trend now to adopt little Black boys and then dress them as girls. I find that highly offensive. Highly offensive. First of all, the young boy is not old enough to even know what's happening to him. And to me, being a heterosexual, masculine Black man, that seems like you're cutting our balls off, you know? It should be illegal. Wouldn't it be wild if groups of Black families adopted white boys or white girls and brought them up as the opposite sex? Wouldn't that be odd? If the Johnsons just out the blue, they got 3 Black kids, but out the blue they adopt a white boy and raise them as a white girl. That's wild, right? Yeah. People be up in arms like, why are you raising that boy as a girl? That white boy as a girl? Why would you even do it? See, I'm all about the questioning and the motive behind it. Like, why would you go out of your way, and not just Charlize, it's a trend, but her for sure. Why would you go out? It seems like there's some motives behind that. And not even her being white, not even her and that, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade. Like, raising black men as girls is a travesty. It's a travesty. It's cutting our balls off. It's ending, if they don't change their lives, it's ending the bloodline. That's nothing just to scoff at. You're ending bloodlines. And people are doing it so randomly with the with the chemical castration, with the mutilation, with the medicines and the pills. Like, people are stopping their bloodlines. And that's not nothing to wag your finger at. That's a big deal, you know? It's a big deal to just all of a sudden say, I'm going to stop my bloodline. Like, you've been, God knows how many generations your name and your bloodline has been going on, and then it's out the blue. People are castrating themselves and mutilating themselves. I have a problem with it, you know? I have a problem with it. Not in the judging way and the wagging finger way, not in that way. I've heard of multiple stories, and I have not heard one. I have not seen multiple success stories of individuals transitioning and being happy in their 40s and being happy in their 50s, being happy in their 70s via the transition. I'm not saying it's not out there, but like, when you got older, when you get older. So I'm thinking, like, when you're 70, 80, do you really give a damn at that point who you are identifying as or how the world is seeing you? You're just trying to stay alive. I think the first world westernized Western problems, because you don't hear a lot about this overseas and other countries. It's just here. Here we hear that. But I don't think at 70, 80, I'm just trying to live my life, be alive, healthy, and I don't give a damn about how the world perceives you, because that's how old people are. The older they get, the more things that they say, and they don't hold back. So I'm thinking that's going to be the same way, or maybe not, because an issue is an issue. Like, if you believe it is um, a mental issue, a mental illness, then it doesn't matter what age you are. You're always going to be ill if not treated. So, like, if you are schizophrenic at uh, 25, you're gonna be a schizophrenic at 45, unless you are treated. So, again, empathy and communication. But I have something against. I have major pushback on individuals being okay with ending their bloodlines, male or female, because I don't. That's not our call. That's not our call. Like, if we were brought here, I don't think that's our call to say, nah, I'm done with it. I'm done with continuing our bloodline. But that's just me. That's just me. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. Let's go. Oh, man. All right, so let's get it. Charles F. Page. Charles F. Page. Who is Charles F. Page? Well, we're going to learn who Charles F. Page is. Have you heard, brothers? Yep. Check us out.
Page got a patent for his airship in 1906, before the Wright brothers. But Page's story takes an unusual turn. He planned to enter his airship in a competition for a $100,000 prize at the 1904 Louisiana Purchase Exposition in St. Louis.
He took his life savings. He built a working model, tested it at his home in Pineville, and then shipped it off by train to St. Louis, Missouri, where he was going to fly the airplane in St. Louis, Missouri, and then become a chapter in all of our history books.
But the aircraft never arrived at the World's Fair.
His plane was destroyed or stolen, possibly due to the fact he was an African American.
Charles F. Page, before the Wright brothers, 1904. Charles F. Page, before the Wright brothers, 1904. Built and tested it and was going to show it to the world, I believe at the World Fair, St. Louis, 1904. But it never made it to the World Fair. His contraption, his plane, his airship never made it to the World Fair, so the world never knew about Charles F. Page, but 7 years later, we learned about the Wright brothers. People say, how come you always got to make it about race? Or some people say, why you always got to make it about race? I'll tell you why. Window. Oh, Chrome tab, yeah. Why we got to make it about race all the time? Although many learned men were involved in this enterprise, it was the classifications developed by the Swedish botanist Carolus Linnaeus and the German physiologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach that provided the models in terms of modern racial classifications. So when people say why it always got to be about race and why I got to be white or black, well, because you individuals, not you individuals, forgive me, Caucasian individuals, they came up with it. They came up with it. That's why. Oh, damn, hold on. I'll do that. There we go. So, moving on. Why I gotta be about race? Motherfucker, damn, I cursed. Well, y'all brought it up. Let's move it on. Ooh, live with my mystery. I love this. Live with my mystery. Is that what that says? Oh, no, just live with mystery. Forgive me. I added something. Windows. Listen to this. Very, very, very engaging. He's all over the social mediums.
Do you know your wife 100%? No. And I don't know my wife 100%. Does that mean you and I can't have a relationship with our wives because we don't understand them 100%? No. We have a wonderful relationship with our wives. You've got to live with mystery, and I got to live with mystery. And if I can't learn to live with mystery, I'm going to have a horrible relationship with my wife, and you will have a horrible relationship with your wife. To demand that our wives tell me everything there is to know about them, I could never do that, and I couldn't grasp it. Well, if that's true about our relationship with our wives and our children, how much more true that is about our relationship with God. Where on earth do I get off of this intellectual arrogance that says, unless God answers every question I've got, unless I can understand everything about God, I can't believe? Does anybody know everything there is to know about any area of life, be it biology, chemistry, history, psychology? No, we have partial knowledge. And you better learn to live with mystery. If that's true about every branch of knowledge, it's going to be true about God.
That was powerful. Living with mystery. living with mystery. Do we know everything about anything and everything or anyone? And if we don't, does that mean that we don't love them, or we can't accept them, or we can't trust them? So what really got me was when he compared living with mystery with the relationship with God, because a lot of individuals who don't believe in God or believe in a higher power, I always hear all these questions that they have unanswered. Well, how come God does this? Or how come this is happening? Or how come this is happening? And because they don't have those answers, because it's not clear cut, they don't believe in God, which is wild, because we don't know everything about anyone or anything. And we still accept them, love them, banter, go back and forth. So why the stiff arm with God, Why if he don't tell me everything, if I don't know everything, he does not exist? That's childish. Just in general, that's immature thinking. Just like, if you have a spouse or a partner, you don't know everything about them, and they don't know everything about you. And just because there's some mystery there, it doesn't mean you don't trust them. Or maybe it does. But I feel it is unfair to wag your finger at and stick your nose up at God because you don't know everything about God. That's immature, that's wild, and it's not practical thinking. So yeah, quit blaming God for everything, and love your mama. All right, my last one. Then and now. Then and now. Here we go. I seen her too, like on the social mediums. I just saw this the other day. Blew my mind. I was like, "Oh, I gotta save it." Here we go. Then and now.
Your name?
Sophie.
Sophie, nice to meet you. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor and an astronaut.
I'm gonna play it again. I teach young ladies this young, and they're full of love and joy and hope and innocence. And then it goes here.
Name?
Sophie.
Sophie, nice to meet you. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor and an astronaut.
Attractive, yes. I'm gonna deny that. But what happened to her wanting to be a doctor? What happened to her wanting to be a lawyer? Somewhere in between, she looked like 5, 6, maybe. Somewhere between 6 and like 18, they got lost. And I believe not having a strong father figure in the home, it not only affects the men, well, the boys, but it affects the girls. Because if a strong man is in the home, if a respectable, strong man is in the home, then he's providing all of the love and the support and the attention that young lady will not look for later on. And she would actually look for qualities in a boyfriend or in a spouse that her father has, because that's how she was treated. That's what she knows. So that's what she's going to look for. So it's shameful not having the father figure in the home, because it not only affects the boys, but it drastically affects the girls, because now the girls don't know what to look for in a positive male figure. They will look, I'm preaching to the choir, but they'll just go for anything because they don't know any better. So it's shameful that the males have been removed from the home, either voluntarily or involuntarily, but without them in the home, there's no stability. There's no stability. Shameful, shameful. Now, those were the video responses, man. And I'm always opinionated. I got 100 more of those, but I got to transition into the meat and potatoes of the broadcast. Gay pastors, let's talk about it. Gay pastors, let's talk about it. What does the Lord say? What does the Bible say about homosexuality? I don't know. Let's look it up. Leviticus 18:22 states, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination." Leviticus 18:22 states, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination." What is an abomination? What does that mean? An abomination is a formal noun that means something is hateful, loathsome, or vile. So let's go back. Like I've got a stance on this. Gay pastors. The Bible says how it feels about homosexuality. Not judging, not pointing the finger. Bible says this. So legitimately, if you believe in this type of thing, right? If you believe in the Bible, knowing this, wouldn't that give you pause in leading a flock of people? Wouldn't that give you pause? Now, we all have things that, we go through, but wouldn't that give you pause of being a leader of a flock when you are still in your spiritual journey? Not just one. What else does the Bible say about, I'm tying it into homosexuality in the pulpit. If a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both of them have done what is detestable. They are to be put to death. Wow. So listen, the wages of sin is death. I'm not condoning you knowing someone having sex and going out and murdering them. No, 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 no. That's not what I condone. And that's not what I condone. But the wages of sin is death. And if we don't, and if we believe, if you believe in this, then if you don't repent, then we're going to suffer the second death. Let's move on to another scripture. I know we got to a Sunday school, but I'm tying all this into, it is out of pocket. It's out of pocket to have homosexual pastors. The same way it's out of pocket to have pimp pastors. The same way it's out of pocket to have drunkard pastors. The same way it's out of pocket to have abusive pastors. If you're not fit to lead, if you're not aligned yet, then don't play that game. That's where I'm at. Like I'm on my spiritual journey myself. There are things that I'm that I am working on. But there's some areas I'd be out of pocket to enter an area that I'm not, to enter a field of excellence when I'm not there yet. To enter a field of of leadership when I'm not there yet. So it's not about just being homosexual. It's just not being ready yet. The drunkard is not ready yet. The gambler is not ready yet to lead a flock, because if they're leading a flock and they have not dealt with their trials and their tribulations, then it's negating everything that the leader is supposed to exude. The leader is supposed to be an example to the flock. And if you are a bad example, you should not be leading. And again, if you don't believe in this, then I'm not talking to you all. But if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in Jesus, if you believe in that world, then it's out of pocket. It's out of pocket to be in the pulpit and you're still working through your things. Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Or 1 Corinthians 6, 9, and 10. Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. It says it in the book. So where my pushback comes from is the rationalization of it all. Like, if you believe in it, don't rationalize your sin. Don't rationalize your sin to fit the book. It don't work that way. The book is the book. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm none of that, but the book is the book. We can't move the goalposts. The book is the book. The book is the damn book. More Corinthians. What we got? Again, I'm all about where we at? Here we go. Revelations, cowardly, unbelieving. The Bible warns Christians to be wary of false teachers and manipulation in spiritual matters. The Bible warns Christians to be wary of false teachers and manipulation in spiritual matters. What is manipulation? Manipulation is the act of controlling someone or something for one's own advantage, often in an unfair or dishonest way. That's what I'm talking about. Like, if you aren't there yet as a drunkard, as someone that is dealing with the flesh, whether hetero or homosexual, gambler, what have you, if you're not set yet, you have no business leading a flock. Listen, we all have our spiritual journey that we go through, but I feel that if you're not at a certain point, you should not be leading a flock. And then manipulating the word, trying to rationalize your sin to fit the word, that's out of pocket, ladies and gentlemen. That's out of pocket, ladies and gentlemen. And my thing as well is, why do they always mock the Christian church? There's so many different religions out there, but they mock the Christian the most. I have a question about that. Like, people hate Christians. They don't hate Buddhists. They do, yeah. People hate Jewish individuals. They do. But none like the Christians. The Christians get persecuted. I'm talking about on all sides. Why? So you don't see the mockery of Islam via homosexuality. You don't see the mockery of Judaism via homosexuality. You don't see the mockery of Buddhists via homosexuality. You don't see the mockery of Hindus via homosexuality. You don't, but you do see but there is a mockery in the church. And I think that's I think that's for a reason, you know. Out of all the religions that you can mock, why is Christianity mocked the most? Food for thought. Food for thought. People meeting, people making memories. What else we got, man? I think we got one more. We talked about that. That's pretty much all I want to talk about, you know. My video responses. I wanted to talk about gay pastors, and not just gay pastors in general, but individuals unfit to lead the flock in the church. Individuals unfit to lead the flock in the church. That's the foundation of it, you know? Like, if you believe in it, you don't play with it, you know? That's something you do not play with, especially if you know, are truly on your spiritual journey. You don't play with that type of thing. You don't play with that type of thing. Moving forward, next week, tune in. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, but I will be here. My goal is to do 50. How many weeks in a year? 52. I'm going to do 50 more of these on the 19th. I'm sorry, on the 19th, at 10 o'clock on Mondays. People meeting, people making memories. Again, to help support the show, jctv.com. There's merch. We got hoodies. We got hats. But also become a lead star. My ebook is on the site as well. And I truly believe by reading that book and applying those skills, your relationships will automatically improve, because your communication will improve. My father always used to say, as soon as anything breaks down, if something breaks down, the first thing you can look at is there was a breakdown in communication somewhere. He always pushed that. So even before I got into communication and being self-developing my communication skills, he always said that in home. He always said that at home. But now there's an actual science behind it. I learned this back in 2008, and it's changed my life. Any room I walk in, I know I have the upper hand. Any audition I go in, I know I have a little bit of the upper hand because I'm applying all of these skills. So become a lead star, meeting people, making memories. JCTV, thanks for tuning in. We out.